Good morning, everybody. This is Jeanette. I've got a new video because I have a new toy from my brother 2340 Cover Stitch. I bought the double fold binding attachment for the machine. This is for this particular machine because I am in the process of doing a big run of tank tops that require the binding on the front and back panel necklines. And prior to getting this, what I would do is I just cut the individual pieces, serge them on, and then cover stitch them on. That's a two-step process. Now with the binder, it's a one-step process, and I can do it assembly line style. And I'll show you how I do that. I'm liking this. I don't know how much longer I'll use it, but at least I know how to use it and I'll have it. Unlike the hemming attachment, I didn't like it because you have to iron. So if you got to iron, you don't need the attachment to stick something that you've already pressed in there. You can just run it through pressed. So with that, I'm going to show you how I feed it in here and how I do the assembly line. And I do apologize that I'm going to have to maybe my hands will get in the way. I may zoom in, and I know I'm going to move the camera. So I'm going to apologize beforehand. So with this, when you order the attachment, this is what you get. It comes on this base and it just snaps down into the channel that's underneath here, and you get a foot. And as you can see, this foot is a little bit different. It has a lip, and what happens is the fabric rides along the edge of that on the inside. That way it doesn't wander off someplace. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on so I can get going and show you how to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and get my threads underneath there too. I do have the generics, and I don't like them because you have to tape them to the base of the machine. And then if you need to get in for the looper, you have to take it off. But with this, and I'm going to move the camera, with this, you don't have to, and you don't lose where it was. That's what I like about this. So now when you know, like I said, you get this, you get the attachment, plus you get the foot, and hopefully you're lucky enough to get the instructions. Now, when I was playing around with it, I've had it for about a month and a half, and I was playing around with it, and I wasn't liking how they set it up, how it comes to you. And I'm going to condense this instructions down. Okay, now when it comes to you, it is set up like this. So the sides are even. I wanted it like this, where the bottom is shorter than the top. And I'll show you why. Because I don't like to see when somebody's binding and it's coming right down the middle. I want to see it this way. I think it looks much neater. The front is down the middle, but the back should never be that way. It should be like this. It should be covering the edge. So I really don't like to see that, but, you know, to each his own, I guess. So when you get this, here we go back here, and you want this look, or you can do this look too. What they're telling you is to adjust these little lips here, these little teeth, and those are right here. I'm going to move the thing. I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, so here you go. Here they are. This is what they're talking about right here. This one and this one right here. So what you're going to do, I'm going to go back to the instructions. on the instructions, there's screws on the back. So what you're going to do is you're going to move the bottom one. And that's the only one I moved. I moved the bottom one and I pushed it all the way in. That's all I did was push that one in there. And then, I'm going to go back in. Okay. The reason I have it marked the way it is because this is your marked area. And these little arrows here don't necessarily line up with these little areas here, right here, don't line up with this the way I want it. It's offset. It's just right at the kink of this is where I have it set to be able to cover the way I want it to cover. So, you know, you can experiment if you got this and you got it tucked away. If you're thinking about getting one, play around with it. You know, but that's how I did it, and that's why I've got it marked the way I have it marked. So in case it ever does come off, I can just press it right down in place and I have it. Because what happened was, when I first was playing around with it, I literally leaned the machine back and was looking at this needle, the far left one, to see where it was coming, you know, so it would cover the bottom the way I like it. And what it is it'll come between here and here. Not literally, but I mean, it looks like it is. But you'll see how it is. This is where, like a needle right here, it's going right between where I want it to go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and I'll show you how to feed this in here. And what you're going to do is you're going to, just like all the other binding videos out there, you're going to put the wrong side toward you and you're going to feed it in, excuse my hands, just like that. Okay, and I do say there's one drawback. It doesn't have a little tree thing here to keep your fabric straight, so you have to kind of watch back and forth on the on your binding here that it's not twisting or anything. So you get it to this point, okay, right here. Okay, now when you come in here, you're going to see there's a lip here, right in here, and then there's a lip here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your edge of your fabric and you're going to put it up in there. Same thing with this one. Put it up in there, like that. Okay, there you go. You have it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to push it through. All right, now watch when it comes out here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, now when it starts coming out here, you're going to see that it's folding. See? There's two teeth here. There's one on each side here. And that's where it folds over. Okay? So once I get it to this point, I'm going to take my, I always use this too, so you can use whatever you want. Some people have an awl. I use this. It just keeps me knowing where it's at too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm going to shove it down in here. And what happens is it brings the fabric. You see how it's folding in on itself? Just like that. And you push it out enough to where you can grab it with your tweezers. And get some long tweezers too, ladies or gents too. Get long tweezers or you're going to be fighting with them. So then I just take it and I pull it out enough to where it gets under the foot, just to where I can barely get the needle set down in them. Okay, just like that. And then I'll do my couple of turn downs. Okay, and you see how the fabric is pulled over those two little teeth? Okay, so that's what you want. So I'm going to go back in here. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to take your fabric and you're going to have the right side toward you. Okay? I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. Okay. All right. So now you're going to take the edge of your wherever you're going to bind here, and you're going to stick it way up in there. And don't fold it, though. Get it in there. It might take a couple times because sometimes it doesn't want to feed right away. Okay. All right, so now let's get started here. It didn't catch, so I'm going to try it again. All right, now. All right. I am working around the camera here now. Now, you see, you want to get that fabric way up in there. You can't, I'm pushing on this. That's where it's at, but don't have it to where it's folding over. Okay. And I can get out of, like I said, I can get like, depending on the size, I can get from 6 or 7 tops out of one string of binding fabric. Okay, now when I get to this point, you can tell, you can see from the side, and I'm not going to move the camera, but it hasn't gone down into the needle yet to catch that fabric, which is okay, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my next panel and I'm going to shove it in there just like I did the first one. Put it in there, and then okay, all right, and there you go. And you see it covered the back. See how it covers the back? And it looks so much nicer this way than it does down the middle. So play around with it so you see where you can get yours at, you know, to set it up if you want it this way. But like I said, they give you 3 options. You can have it even like this one. You can have it offset like the one I'm using, or you can have it offset the other way where the bottom is out further. So, you know, for you that have this or thinking about getting this attachment, you know, like I said, it is a costly attachment, but I'm finding it's worth the money. And it doesn't take that long to learn. I am messing around. I've been playing around with binding in the round too. And I almost had it the other day. But right now I have to work on an order, so when this is done, then I'll go back to trying to do binding in the round. So with that, I hope this helps. I hope, you know, if you have this attachment, get it out, learn it. I'm glad I invested in it. And with that, happy sewing, everybody.